Looks like you're on the right track with all of that.
I hope so.
We look forward to maybe checking that out and see how that goes.
What do you think makes you unique as opposed to the other shows and other promoters that are out there doing exactly what you do? What makes you unique? What stands you out?
From everybody else that promotes in Colorado?
Yeah.
I have a ton of tattoos. I mean, if you're looking for the physical, like, what stands Seth out?
No, I mean, like your marketing strategy, your advertising.
No, I mean, I love all the other, I'm not going to lie, dude. I'm really good friends with all the other promoters, most of them. You know, Steve and Keith work for me. Jamie's my vice president. You know, I mean, there's a youth element involved, I think. I'm not saying I'm, you know, that young, but I'm a lot younger than the other promoters by about 20 years.
Oh, wow.
And so there's just a lot of, my way of thinking, I think, is maybe a little bit different than theirs. You know, my willingness to take bigger risks is there, you know, because I'm not afraid of losing everything because I know I'll get it back, you know, just don't care. But I don't know, man. I mean, outside of that, it's just a matter of my direction in my mind of what I'm gonna do. You know, it's really it. I mean, all the promoters out here are solid people, and they care about the fighters, and they want people to have a good experience, and they want people to come to their shows. I think I just kind of take more of an aggressive, artistic approach about things than most people do.
That's good. Do you think that you've had a favorite show that you've put on?
You know, I get asked that a lot. We had the professionals, the show we just did, it was all professional fighters in November, won the show of the year for Colorado around the Octagon Awards. We did a show called War back in April, and it had like 4 knockouts in it, and it was just like super exciting. Fight card wasn't even that good. It was just, you know, on paper it was okay. There was like 4 pro fights, 9 amateur fights, but for some reason, just like the matchups, just everybody just was banging that night.
Are you involved in the matchups, or
I do. I do all of it. Primarily me, but myself and Jamie Addy matchmake our fight cards, and so I mean, it's like I always joke around about it. I guess it's not that funny, but I always say, you know, it's like we make meth and I'm the chemist. You know, it's like, it's not that funny because there's actually a serious meth problem in Colorado.
Right.
But anyways, but it's kind of like what it is, you know. It's like we get to put it all together and figure out what's going to be exciting and put it out there, you know, and try to make solid matchups that are fair where each guy can win.
That sounds a lot. That's probably the reason you've had such rapid success, is your willingness to adapt and put on a better show each time, or at least try to.
Well, I mean, a lot of it, and most of it has to do with the fighters, to be honest with you. The reason we've been so successful is I've got a lot of the fighters buy into what I'm doing, and they fight for me, you know. It's like Alvin Robinson, Ryan Martinez, you know, a lot of these guys that are really only fighting for me now, and it's, I don't like make it that way. They've chosen that, and, you know, they're exciting, they're great fighters, and they bring a great energy to the plate. People want to see them. That's helped a lot. Grudge Fight Team has done a ton for me. You know, the ability to have all access to all the grudge fighters whenever I want any of them.
Yeah, it sounds like you have a pretty big pool of people that you can draw from, very large network of people.
Yeah, well, I mean, shit, man, 6 to 8 of my fighters from each card are always from Grudge. Ricky Vasquez, best manager in the country, that dude over there. He knows how to get his guys fights, and the coolest thing about it, I mean, they know this from me, is I don't care if they win or lose. I don't care if my own students win or lose. I just want to see them go out there and go to war.
Yeah.
So it's like, I put up the best matchups that I possibly can, and hopefully we get a good fight, you know?
That's all you can do. Where do you see, what are some of from your competition memories, who's the best guy that ever beat you?
Best guy that ever beat me in what?
In any type of competition, a submission or MMA. Who do you think was the best one you ever faced?
Dan Hornbuckle.
Really?
Dan Hornbuckle was Sengoku champion. He made the finals of the Bellator tournament before he lost to Ben Askren. Dan was probably the best guy I've ever lost to. I've lost to some good fucking guys, dude. Like, especially recently, because I jump into all my tournaments. I just lost to Matt Jubera this weekend, who's black belt under Saulo Libero. You know, I luckily beat Jamie Varner a couple years ago because the kid's a piece of shit. I just want to put that in there. He's got nothing. I didn't lose to him. I hate that fucking guy. You know what? I take it back. Best guy I ever lost to Justin Salas. I lost to Justin Salas is my current 155-pound professional champion. And 11 years ago, I lost him at the high school national wrestling championships in order to qualify to be an All-American.
Oh.
It's kind of funny because now he's like my superstar, but he kind of ruined my life. You know, he changed the entire course of my life with one match.
Did he?
Yeah, so Salas is the best guy ever.
Did you by any chance chain with Mr. Bracken over there at the Olympic Training Center in any ways?
No, I was Blackman.
Kevin Bracken.
No, I was doing judo at the Olympic Training Center.
Oh,
So I
He does
only did
wrestling.
I did a wrestling camp there, but I didn't wrestle there.
So who are some of your role models, maybe inside the industry or outside of it, that you tried to emulate for your success?
Inside the industry, I learned a lot from the local promoters. I started working underneath Sven Bean for Ring of Fire for a while, so he inspired me in the beginning a lot. Mike Nichols is probably my biggest local inspiration. You know, he's my coach, he's my training partner. Just his whole way of thinking about life, you know, and everything. He's the one that really got me motivated to start promoting and doing these events. You know, Mike had a huge deal in that. Outside of that, man, probably I'd say the Black Panthers, from the 60s. I love the militant Black Panthers who storm into Congress with machine guns and shit. Tommy Harris and all the guys that put their fist up at the Olympics. Just anybody that stands up for whatever they believe in, you know, whether it be gay rights or whatever, and anyone that tells them that they can't do it and then they just fucking do it anyways because they believe in it.
that's right.
I respect a lot of those people. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, you know, a lot of the militant people. It's kind of my style.
Okay. Well, you're as an instructor at Colorado Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. And you train a lot of blue belts, you said?
Yeah, I teach takedowns for Colorado Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. You know, gi takedowns, no gi takedowns. It's not really wrestling. It's not really judo. It's point takedown for submission fighting. You know.
So, what are some of the methodologies that you teach in taking someone down, or that's different than someone else?
Everything I teach ends up with you being on top. I don't do anything that turns your back to your opponent. So all my techniques, everything ends up with you in their guard or you in side control. I don't teach anything that exposes your back. So it's a lot of foot sweeps. That's what a lot of people know my competition as. I have really pretty foot sweeps. I can sweep people with no hands in the air. It looks really cool. You know, sometimes I miss and look like an idiot. I throw kicks at people, but my foot sweeps is kind of my main thing that a lot of people are trying to get from me right now.
Cool. That's pretty cool. Is there any new styles or new systems or new approaches on your personal training that you would like to approach in the future sometime? Something you've been interested in, some type of combative training that you haven't experienced yet?
Man, to be honest with you, I'm a jiu-jitsu guy. You know, jiu-jitsu's been around for hundreds of years, man. So I mean, I'll always be a jiu-jitsu guy. You know, I don't really have any aspirations of fighting again. I don't really like stand-up. I don't like training Muay Thai. Even though Oscar Martinez is a fantastic coach, and I loved him. He was a great coach. It hurts. I don't like getting hit. I'm a big pussy. I love jiu-jitsu. I think jiu-jitsu is something I can do till I'm 50 years old, no matter how injured I get. You know, I mean, I had Norman Fulton in Castle Rock, who was in his 60s.
Norman.
Yeah, we love
Norman, bro.
We love Norman.
All my
He's cool.
tournaments. You know, Norman, guys like that. That's what inspires me to keep going in jiu-jitsu because fucking dude's, you know, he's old dude.
He's awesome.
funny, too.
We love
He's
Norman, man.
Fights. I
We
want to
interviewed
be
Norman.
able to do that when I'm 30, 40, 50 years old. I want to
right.
be able to train.
Me too.
You know, so I don't see myself doing anything outside of jiu-jitsu. I'd like to get in better shape, but I'm fucking addicted to soda.
Oh yeah.
I am, dude. I love Dr. Pepper. I wish Dr. Pepper would sponsor
With
me
rum?
so bad. I don't
Oh,
drink.
that'd be
I don't drink.
Me neither.
I
really
only drink at after parties.
Yeah, we do.
Rarely.
We're
I'm talking
occasional drinkers.
once every 2 months or something. I drink, and I rarely smoke pot. Sometimes on road trips, but I love soda. So that's kind of something that holds me back. If I could cut that out, I'd probably get in really good shape.
Yeah. That's good that you don't drink a lot, though.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Where do you see the evolution of MMA going through your promotions, or
We'll see. I'll tell you on the 25th.
Okay.
If this shit works, what I think I'm about to do, then this is where I'm going.
Okay.
Big theatrics and solid fight cards.
Right.
I just want to be different. I'm tired of being compared to Ring of Fire. He has a better venue than me. We use the same fighters. Okay? We have a bigger crowd. Sometimes he has a bigger crowd. That's it.
Gotcha.
Tired of it.
You're
Tired
just
of
looking to
everybody
stand
comparing
apart.
us together.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same event. He's in a different place. With, I mean, it's essentially it's the same thing. It's whatever. So now I just do a lot more of them than he does. So I'm going for a whole new aspect, and I'm trying to really differentiate myself from him. Whether his is better than mine, I don't care less. It's what people think. It's a great show.
Okay.
So the fact I'm even compared to him is cool with me.
Yeah, man. I got a question for you. You've had a lot of personal experience in fighting, and you've had a lot of promotions experience, obviously. What advice would you give first to a new fighter or someone that's going to enter one of your tournaments and stuff like that? We've had a lot of, we've interviewed other fighters and other promoters and everything else, and one of the things that we've come across is that certain fighters will say they're a little confused when they show up at events. How does Fight to Win help them not be confused and know where to go?
You're talking about like for a tournament?
Let's start with MMA, for example.
For
like
MMA, well,
MMA
first of all, like, I mean, I don't use independent fighters. Like, I won't do it. So it's like, if you're not part of a camp of the 80 coaches I have in my phone bank in Colorado, I won't use you on a fight card, period. Okay? Because I trust those 80 coaches to give me somebody that's ready to fight. So that's the coach's responsibility to get these guys ready. And if the fighter's not ready to fight, the coach should not offer that fighter up.
That's right.
That's how I feel about it.
And that happens a lot, doesn't it? That fighters drop out for various reasons?
Well, I mean, that's one of the biggest problems we have right now in Colorado MMA is we need new blood. We need new fighters. We need new amateurs. But the problem is a lot of these fighters, they'll contact promoters directly, and a promoter puts them on a show, and they go out there and they get fucking murdered. You know? They get this shit kicked out of them, and that's it. They're done. They're done. Their friends are done. That's it. You're out. You know? Especially in Colorado Springs, dude, they had so many. Fatal Strike was a sick fight camp that they had out there. Abolished, gone. No one knows what happened to them. Stuff like that. It's like you get matched up wrong, you know, you lose. You need a good coach. You need good places. And there's tons of places in Denver, in Colorado Springs, in Pueblo. Tons of places, tons of good people that you can train with and go. You know, for tournaments, compete. You just have to compete. One of the best ways to get ready for MMA is competing in jiu-jitsu tournaments. Because you get rid of that anxiety. Well, I mean, it's still there, but you help not have as much anxiety. You get mat time. You get in front of people. You get to compete. It feels good. It's a good experience. And you just compete as much as possible, unless you're injured. And that's why I compete at my own tournaments. You know, unless I'm injured to a point where I know I will really mess myself up by competing, I'll compete in all my own tournaments, which is exhausting. It's just like I don't sleep for 2 days, and I have to stay up, do the brackets, put it all together. At the end of the day, I put on my gi and I go compete.
That takes a lot of heart, though.
Well, I figure if I can do that, then when it's time to fight at Pan Am's, when I have 2 weeks to take a break, I'm gonna fucking murder somebody. You know?
And what advice can you give like up and coming promoters that are just starting or trying to put together a fight team or trying to organize a show or maybe get
Working
in with
out
those
of their
80
office
in your,
at work
in your
when
group?
they're not
Yeah, working out of your office
man.
somewhere.
The best advice I could give, this is gonna sound terrible. The best advice I could give a promoter in Colorado, somebody that wants to promote, is it's too late because the market's already done. There's 6 fight shows in Denver. There is a great show in Colorado Springs with No Mercy. They have a great venue. SCR is a great show in Pueblo. There's things you can do. I mean, you can try to do it, but anybody that comes in now, and it's already happened the past couple of years, every year we have some new guy that comes in. At this point, when people come in, they're only coming to make money.
Yeah.
Everybody else will just work with one of us. Just work with one of us. Just come get a job. We'll hire you. You know, because if you, Colorado doesn't need another person coming out just trying to make money off people. Because there's already enough.